I feel like I blinked and summer in London started coming to an end. Now it's the end of August and I'm packing up my belongings, preparing to step into a new chapter yet again. I've been living with shallow roots for a couple of years, settling into places for short periods of time and then uprooting and going somewhere new. At times, I find this nomadic way of life difficult because of how easily I grow attached to places, to the routines I build in those places, and the people I connect with. But on the other hand, I also love how travel replenishes me, and how this moving around often leads me to finding a sense of home in places I would have never expected. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be going back to Kythera, an island in Greece where I lived for a month this time last year. When I was there, I found so much peace, beauty, and inspiration on the island. And right now, I'm yearning for a cocoon to create from. A sanctuary for my senses, a place to gather the edges of myself that city life has frayed. But between every ending and new beginning, there is a departure. An in-between space that I've learnt to see as sacred. A space where I dream and plan and prepare, letting the vision slowly take shape. That space is where I find myself now as I piece together this video. Good morning guys. I've come down to the park this morning because it is a sunny day and it was forecast to be rainy today, and so it was such a pleasant surprise when I woke up and the sun was shining. You can really feel the change in seasons at the moment with autumn starting and all the leaves are starting to fall. But this morning at the park feels so perfect because I've just been feeling really caught up in my to-dos and plans and dates and just trying to tie things up and get things done before I go away next week, especially with packing my stuff up and moving out of my sublet and just trying to make everything happen and do work at the same time and socialize at the same time and catch up with family. It just feels like, there's times in life when it just feels like so much is happening at once. That's kind of what the past couple of weeks have felt like. And I feel like I've just been caught up in it all. And so even just half an hour down at the park, feeling the sun and stretching feels so relieving. It feels like such a refuge of peace. But I have some errands to do and some things that I want to buy before I go away, which I'm going to go and do this morning. I love buying specific things for a trip. It's the little things to me, like new incense or a new tea that I can take with me. But I brought my laptop with me, so I'm going to go and sit in a cafe and have a hot drink this morning, and then we'll go and do some errands. The time has come for me to move out of this flat in London and pack my life into a suitcase again. Packing has come to feel like a ritual of renewal, a process of letting go and distilling my belongings down to only what I deem essential. I took all of the clothes I wasn't taking with me out of my wardrobe and packed them into vacuum seal bags to leave with my auntie in London. Then I was left with only what I was taking with me. One side of my suitcase is filled with clothes, and the other side is filled with toiletries, trinkets, books, art supplies, and workout equipment. I carry different pouches filled with objects that are special to me. One pouch is filled with the objects that I use for ritual and meditation. In here are things like incense, Palo Santo, essential oils, dried sage, small ceramic dishes, woven coasters, and a shell from home that I carry with me. Another pouch has a few small comforts from the kitchen that make anywhere feel more like home. I have some loose leaf tea, a bag of raw cacao, a pot of saffron, a jar of my favorite turmeric chai blend, and my supplements. I always travel with a probiotic and a multivitamin to help support my gut health and fill any nutrient gaps in my diet. Ritual is the sponsor of this video, and I've been taking their Essential for Women 18 Plus for the past year, and it's become my favorite multivitamin because of its clean ingredients and the less is more approach that Ritual takes. Ritual recognizes that we often get enough nutrients through food alone, and they also understand that certain ingredients can impact the absorption of other nutrients. To avoid this, the Essential for Women multivitamin focuses only on 9 ingredients to help fill nutrient gaps in your diet. All of these ingredients are made traceable, meaning that you can read about why each ingredient is included and where it comes from so you know what you're putting in your body. I'm excited to start taking the Synbiotic Plus, which is Ritual's 3-in-1, prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. I've fallen victim to food poisoning before whilst traveling, so I know how important it is to support my gut health. The Synbiotic Plus contains 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains, and it also doesn't need to be refrigerated, which makes it convenient and perfect for travel. If you want to try Ritual for yourself, you can get 25% off your first order at ritual.com with the link in my description. You've caught me snacking on roasted sweet potato and about to do something very exciting, which is do my vision board in my new journal. First of all, I got a new journal. There's a certain satisfaction of buying a new journal filled with blank pages, so much possibility, so many stories to tell, so much to write, so much to sketch. I got the Midori journal, but I got the one that has thicker pages than usual so that I can sketch in it. But I really like these journals. I like how they're bound, and yeah, I think they're really well made. But the only problem that I have with them is that I prefer when I have a color on the cover. Like this was my past journal, and this is a Midori journal as well, but I customized it and I gave it a thicker cover and covered it with fabric. I used card like this to make the cover more of a hard cover, so it's more durable, and then I wrapped it in linen and glued it together. Something that I love to do whenever I get a new journal, especially if I'm going away on a trip or I can really envision what a future chapter is going to look like for me. I'll make a vision board on Pinterest and print out the photos to stick in the front of my journal. I've got a past journal here which I can show you. This is an old journal of mine, And this one was from the start of this year when I went to Mexico and Guatemala and Los Angeles. And so at the start, I had a picture of myself as a baby. And then I put these photos. And I also print out poems to put in the front of the journal as well. Oh, everything's starting to fall out. There's a whole world in here. Yeah, there's another poem. This journal is honestly falling apart though. Ooh, oh my gosh! And then I wrote this letter to myself. That's crazy. It says, I wrote it to open on September the 1st, and I forgot about this. And it's September the 1st today. Oh. Wow, I wrote this in April this year. I'm gonna read this later. But I've got my visions for Greece, and my intentions are so clear for my month in Kythera, and so it feels really good to have images that reflect the exact essence of those intentions. So I'm gonna spend some time now just sticking these photos into my journal. Ah, so satisfying. First page. I love whenever I have these vision boards and then I look back on them after I've been on the trip and had the experiences, and I can like place my memory into these photos, because at the moment I'm just like, yeah, that's a dream, that's a vision, I want to do that. But then afterwards, when things actually like come into fruition in your life, it feels so satisfying looking back at them and being like, oh, I did that in this place, and just having the memory to attach to these photos, even if they're not photos you've taken. I think vision boarding is very powerful. Also because it just forces you to have clarity around your intentions, because you can't really vision board without having an intention of what it is that you want to experience. I've been making this vision board for the past like month, I would say, just slowly creating a list of themes and intentions for my time in Kythera. I'll read some of them to you. I've got a list on my notes app. So my themes are yoga, meditation, routines, devotion, reading, the ocean, nature, connecting with the elements, creative practices, writing, sketching, creating videos. And my intentions are, first of all, to create art and kind of unlock a new sense of creativity in myself. I bought these soft pastels the other day, and I can't wait to just do larger pieces of art, different sketches, and just like studies of the landscape and ways that I feel. I think that whenever you try a new medium, it forces you to express yourself in a slightly different way. So I'm excited for that. And I also want to have new insights from the books that I'm going to be reading. I bought 2 new books for this trip. I've bought a book called Ritual, this book, and I'm excited to read this. And then the other book that I bought is called August Town, and this one is set in Jamaica. And I'm really excited to read this because a future vision of mine is to spend time in Jamaica, reconnecting to that side of my ancestry and my roots. This is the thing with like dreams and visions for the future. I think they start very slowly and they kind of like simmer away throughout time. And so I think that reading that book is going to be a great way to just like get my head into that dream whilst living the dream of being in Greece. And another intention for the trip is to give my experiences shape and form through the dance of words. I see myself writing a lot whilst I'm in Greece and having like a real routine and practice around writing and giving myself the time to really sink into it and not feel like I need to be doing something else. I'm basically creating like a artist residency or like retreat for myself. And another intention is to feel new, empty, fulfilled, cleansed, in a state of clarity and equanimity. So those are my intentions that I've dreamed up so far. And the photos on this vision board really encapsulate all those things to me. It feels nice to sit down and do this right now because I've been feeling so scattered the past few days, just feeling like I have so much to do and feeling like there's so much to plan and prepare and think about with going away and leaving this sublet and just wrapping up this season, this chapter before I step into something new. The in-between space always feels slightly chaotic. It's like this storm before there's clarity afterwards. But I am so grateful for the opportunity and ability to be able to go away and just to be living my life like this at the moment. So despite the slight chaos and lots on my mind, lots to juggle, I'm just really grateful. And I think that when you have gratitude, it kind of overrides or like softens the feelings of stress. The more time I spend in this city, the more I fall in love with it, and the deeper the nostalgia feels every time I depart. When I return, the seasons will have shifted and leaves will have fallen. I'm not sure of what the future holds, or where my heart will lead me to in the next few months. What I am sure of is that this summer in London has burrowed my sense of home in this city a little deeper. I'm leaving the city that I was born in with a heart filled with warmth. Goodbyes are always bittersweet, but I think absence does always make the heart grow fonder. So I'm turning the page and walking into something new. Thank you for walking this journey with me.